Okay, this is Mark, and I'm coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and this is going to be real quick. I just had an exchange with some folks on Facebook, and all it was I finished my lunch, I'm sitting there, and I looked at Facebook. Never should have done it. Should have just come right out and get back to work. But it is raining out, so I'll take this moment. And on Facebook, there was a post from the Attorney General, Bill Schuette, and he was talking about himself being Michigan jobs governor. And I said, why don't you be Michigan Constitution governor, right? And some kid chimes in, or some young fella. I don't want to call him a kid. Where I'm from, we call everybody kids, and it's not a bad thing. But his name was Austin, and he says, why not both? And I said, he's already proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he cannot keep his oath of office. Okay, and here's what I'm gonna try to educate a little bit here, because a couple other people chimed in and said, give us proof. And so, as I've said, I believe there's an awakening coming, and if I was to sit there and try and type all this in, it would take forever. So I'm just going to make this quick video and show the proof, and then you guys can make up a decision for yourself. And I'm also going to give you the phone number there at the Attorney General's office. There it is right there. If you'd like to call them and ask them what I'm saying is accurate. I'm going to show you real documents. First thing I'd like to show you is a picture. And read the caption at the bottom. I think that's really fun. Taking his oath of office. When I talk about being an oath breaker instead of an oath keeper, any of these people that occupy positions within our government required, per the Constitution, to take an oath to pledge their loyalty to the Constitution and the principles in the Constitution. And in this guy's case, he actually says that he will protect and defend the Constitution from any enemies, foreign and domestic, and support the Constitution. So that's his role. That's actually what he is supposed to do as an Attorney General. He's not supposed to be bringing jobs in or anything like that. He's supposed to be protecting the Constitution, because we are a representative republic, right? You think we're a democracy, but we're not. We're a representative republic, and we are governed by a Constitution, all right? It's pretty easy, really. Here I have a pocket Constitution, and you can see the amendments there. And the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, and they're really very simple to read through. And the First Amendment is the one that gives us free speech. So what I'm doing right now, let's say that we lived in a country that is, I don't know, tyrannical, and you speak out like this, you could wind up in a lot of trouble. But I've been doing this for a long time and proving that the First Amendment is reality. I am protected. I've had nothing come back on me because I'm speaking my mind. And whether I'm telling the truth or a lie, that's a totally different story, and that's why I gave you their phone numbers so you can check it out with them. But I have the right to lie if I want to. I could tell you a bad story. But here, I'm going to tell you a good story. A couple people chimed in and they said they wanted proof. Okay, well, here's the guy taking an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. In the Constitution of the United States, I'll just go right over to the 8th Amendment. It says that American citizens are free from excessive fines and cruel and unusual punishment. That's the 8th Amendment to the Constitution. Now, I was involved with a matter with the Department of Natural Resources back in 2013, and Bill Schuette's office was representing not me, the person who elected him. He was actually representing the institution known as the Department of Natural Resources, right? And this is a document that I received from his office. Okay? You can see the date on that. You can see the document. There's enough there that you could get it if you wanted to, and you can read through it. And you'll see that I've annotated right there for quick reference that this seeks to fine me $700,000. I'm just a regular farmer, you know. I farm 80 acres. I'm a retired veteran, and, you know, I'm not a rich man by any means, but they wanted me to kill all my animals, and they said that if I didn't kill my animals, then they were going to fine me $700,000. And this, you know, it's all right here. You know, all you have to do is take a screenshot of that if you want to read it yourself, or get the entire document if you want to read it yourself. But, you know, it's pretty common knowledge. You could also just Google my name and then DNR, and you can read about it all. It was in the papers at the time. Times are changing. Nobody cared about stuff like that because it fell on deaf ears. But you can see things are changing. People who are abusive and hold positions of authority are being called out quick. And that's why I'm here to tell you that this guy held a position of authority, and I know a couple of you probably think fairly highly of him, but he held a position of authority, or still holds a position of authority, and instead of being compassionate towards the citizenry, he piled on. You know, the DNR wanted me to get rid of all my animals because they said so. They didn't have a law, and just because they said so, and since then they've rescinded that declaratory ruling anyway. But the Attorney General did not support me, the citizen, and his office will claim that he's in place to protect the state. Well, last I checked, it wasn't the state that elected him. It was us. And the Constitution is our contract with the government that we hire. Okay? So there's the proof of the $700,000 fine. And I don't want to make this too lengthy, but here's another document that came about the same time. You can check through this one too. And this one denied me a jury. All right? Definitely a constitutional issue. Seventh Amendment says that I am guaranteed a jury in a speedy trial. And no jury, according to the Attorney General's. And I can tell you a few other things about him too. The DNR said, because we say so, we're going to take your stuff. My pigs was what they wanted to do, because they said my pigs were feral, even though they're on my farm. They're Mangalitzes. They were imported from Europe. They're not feral, never have been. But they said they could be feral, and so they wanted to take them from me. The Fifth Amendment is very clear that my life, liberty, and property is protected under due process of law. They didn't have a law. The Attorney General should have said, sorry boys, try again. Can't do that to him. He's a U.S. citizen. Another thing that was kind of noteworthy during that time that I thought was really fun, we spent a pile of money to do depositions where we hauled in all these people from the DNR, the Department of Ag, the Extension Service, and we wanted to get to the bottom of it before we went to court. And we did what they call depositions, where you put these people under oath and then you ask them questions, and it's videotaped. And we wanted to find out who was behind this whole thing, and we absolutely found out who was behind it. And that information, I think, would be kind of interesting to the public. But guess what the Attorney General did? He put a gag order on that information. Gag order. So if I had violated that order, supposedly, then it would be no good in a court of law. I don't know if that's true or not. But they do that a lot. We don't know. And so they take advantage of the citizenry instead of, you know, taking care of the citizenry. So there's my proof. I could have spent all day trying to get that out, you know, typing it in, but it would take too long. And so I hope that helps. If it don't, let's hear. We'll keep the conversation going. Thanks.